The following is the Impact Podcast with Pastor Alex Lappos. For the next 15 minutes, you will be challenged, provoked, and inspired like never before, as we discuss topics very few are willing to touch. And now here is Alex Lappos with Impact.
The Christian world got into a major kerfuffle over the Olympic Games opening ceremony because the organizers depicted a drag queen-infested portrayal of the Last Supper. You know, it's amazing. I watched the opening ceremony in full, and that scene went completely over my head until I read about the outrage surrounding it a few days later. So now I'd like to share my thoughts on the matter. First of all, what do you expect from France? This nation threw off the bands of Catholicism centuries ago during the French Revolution. They desecrated the Notre Dame Cathedral by enlisting the participation of a prostitute to portray their new secular religion, the religion of reason, of which she was decorated to represent. Along with the church was the departure from the monarchy in favor of a republic which in a short time became as murderous as the elites before them. Later, most of the anti-Christian sentiments of the Enlightenment came from the minds of French thinkers who wanted to escape from what they considered the suffocating tradition of the church led by fat cat, wealthy priests. Well, they weren't entirely wrong, were they? In short, France has been anti-Christian since the middle of the 1700s, so why should anyone be surprised that they mocked Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper with a table full of social deviants? This is France, my friends. The opening ceremony, and particularly that segment, displayed their national position on the Christian faith accurately. On the other hand, if they had mocked Mohammed the same way they mocked the Christian faith, there would be hell to pay, to say the least. The French in France, and here in Quebec, have a difficult time thinking about the Christian faith outside the context of the Catholic Church, because from their point of view, Catholicism has been a thorn in their flesh for a long, long time. So as I think about it now, I believe it was a slam more against the Catholic Church, of which Da Vinci's painting was a tribute. As a Bible-believing Pentecostal, I have issues with the Catholic Church myself, so my level of offense was minimal, since I sympathized to some degree over the suffocating oppression of the Vatican over the French and other nations as well. Nevertheless, since the majority of those who claim to be Christians are Catholic, the whole scene was inappropriate to say the least, and an in-your-face slur without any question. As far as the outrage Christians voiced, it's about time we believers hit back at the many offenses levied at us by the general public. Christians, in the name of being nice Christ followers, take way too much abuse from non-believers. We tend to say and do nothing about it. I will admit that this polite tolerance of our systematic vilification is better than blowing people up or gunning down the perpetrators with automatic weapons. But give me a break. We put up with a lot of nonsense and false caricatures of ourselves, and it's about time we say something about it, without violating the principle of the Lord Jesus Christ, to be loving and hold no animosity towards those who don't like us. This nonsense and characterization is perfectly illustrated by left-wingers with regard to the vice presidential nominee in the United States, J.D. Vance. He's being portrayed as a weirdo because he's a man of faith, a firm believer in traditional family, an ex-Marine, and wrote a book about Appalachian hillbillies achieving the American dream. Has anyone noticed that the so-called leftist bastions of freedom and tolerance are in Vance, calling all Appalachians weirdos simply because they don't like his politics? I am a little sick and tired of the mocking and desecration of any people's beliefs without any respect, rational objection, or reasoned dialogue. You don't like my Christianity? Fine. You disagree with me? Okay. But don't insult me by pushing a bunch of drag queens in my face and mocking one of the major events of Jesus' life. State your case in a thoughtful, respectful tone, and I will state mine and still care for you, which is what Jesus expects me to do. I believe as Christians we are called by the Lord to love and care for people while attempting to persuade them to become disciples of Jesus, and when necessary, respond to blatant, disrespectful acts not only against us but anyone, instead of being doormats who take all kinds of garbage thrown at them in the spirit of trying to be like a distorted image of a wimpy Jesus. On the other hand, I must say I was a bit offended at the outrage displayed by Christians at the Last Supper blasphemy, not in and of itself, but at our silence over issues for more important things, like the unchecked perversion and immorality of the media and entertainment industry for the purpose of profit without regard of the effects their trash might have on society, or the senseless mass persecution of our brothers and sisters worldwide that few of us seem to care about, or the abuse of animals or the ecological destruction of the earth by greedy, irresponsible corporations, or the exposure of little kids to sexual issues way before their time, wait until puberty at least, or the fact that in Canada at least Christians who are pro-life can't benefit from government grants, or that the Bible is considered a document of hate speech. A reading of 1 Corinthians 13 would resolve that in a hurry. I could list a whole lot more issues worthy of worldwide Christian protest, a lot more offensive than a bunch of blasphemous drag queens mocking a painting. Where is the global Christian outrage over these important areas? Nevertheless, good for us. We responded to something we didn't like, a gratuitous attack on our faith. At least we did that. Now let's speak up about things that we deplore a little more often. We've been sheepish for far too long.
Let your kingdom come, let your will be done, let your glory be made known in our city. Let your grace abound as our praise resound. Let your love through us be shown in our land.
Well, that brings us to the end of another Impact podcast with Pastor Alex Lappos. I'd like to take some time to tell you about some of the other resources we offer on this YouTube channel, The House Montreal. You can join our live service on Sunday at 2:30 p.m., or if you're not available to do that, you can join us for our Bible study posted on Wednesday morning on this same YouTube channel, The House Montreal. If you'd like to write to me, you can do so at pastorlappos@gmail.com. That's pastorlappos, Lappos, @gmail.com. Or you can join us at our website at www.thehousemontreal.org. That's www.thehousemontreal.org, so you can find out all you can about this church ministry. And now this is Alex Lappos saying, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may his abiding presence be with you always. Bye-bye now.